Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the True Talk podcast. I'm joined again by D.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great week.
The first thing I want to talk about was a new Netflix show coming out called Sandman. The other day I was on YouTube and YouTube recommended me that I watch the preview of it, and I clicked on it. The first thing I saw was them performing a satanic ritual literally in the first 30 seconds of the preview. And then I found it interesting. I started doing some research on Sandman. It happens to be a comic book, but what I even found more interesting is that there's been several artists that have made songs called Sandman, which I believe they're referring to the Sandman as the devil. And it's weird because in the show Sandman for Netflix, Lucifer is a character within the show. But what I believe is that the Sandman is literally the devil, because the lyrics to the song, they specifically talk about him as like a person who's providing the dreams. And that's exactly what Lucifer does, in my opinion. There's been many songs. There's been songs by several different artists. And recently, there's been a song by A$AP Rocky. Recently re-released his Long Live A$AP after, I think it was a 10-year re-release or something. I'm not quite sure. On there, he had made a new song called Sandman. And in that song, he literally confesses that he's going to hell and he's going to take some of you guys with him. Literally is what he says out of his own words. He also talks about A$AP Yams in that song, which I'm going to go in and cover when I do the A$AP Rocky video. I believe something strange happened with A$AP Yams and the A$AP Mob, and I believe that his passing might have something to do with A$AP Rocky's success. But like I said, I'll go more into that in the A$AP Rocky video, if that's the one you guys end up voting for the most. The poll is up on my community right now, so if you haven't voted yet, make sure you go vote to see what video you guys want to see next. But it's obvious what Netflix is doing. They're exposing their viewers to more satanic programming. It's clear to see what Netflix is doing. They're clearly just showing their watchers more and more satanic filth over and over and over again, so they can desensitize them and have them accept this. You can clearly see this. The shows are getting more satanic. Last week on the last podcast, I spoke about them with their satanic shows. And again, they have more satanic shows coming out. And people should see this as a reminder of the times that we're in. They're no longer hiding anything. They're showing us in plain sight. What do you think about this, D?
I think this is really crazy. Netflix has no problem throwing all of this in our faces. The first things I ever heard about a Sandman pertained to like children's stuff, dreams. Disney even has a version of a Sandman. You know, he's a yellow happy guy who throws like golden sand in children's eyes and gives them nice dreams. There's even a song from the 50s, Mr. Sandman, Bring Me a Dream. None of it pertains to anything evil, but those were just ways of slowly putting it into our faces. And now, Netflix just completely has no chill. As we've seen with all of their shows, Sabrina, Midnight Masses, and now this Sandman show, they're literally putting rituals right in front of our faces, and people are just going on blindly and not even realizing it.
I believe that the Sandman that they were referring to even then was Lucifer himself, because it's like he sprinkles dreams over them. All that stuff just sounds like the illusion that Lucifer provides the people that worship him. He allows them to achieve their dreams. There's a song by Ed Sheeran. There's a song by A$AP Rocky, like I said. There's a song by I forgot the group's name. And then I think there's one by Metallica as well. There's already been several artists that have made songs with this, clearly pointing to him being the devil, in my opinion at least. Now, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is the Travis Scott and the Astroworld situation. I feel like people have forgotten the situation already and have forgotten the people that were lost. And that's something that I find dangerous in our time, where things like this that happen, that cause so much destruction and many problems for people, can just be slowly forgotten after the media stops covering it, after Travis Scott disappears for a little bit. And then I'm pretty sure he's just going to be able to come right back and drop music and nothing's ever going to happen to him. In my opinion, that shows exactly where our world is. They needed to cover it. You know, they had to make sure that they spun the narrative the way they needed to, because they always want to hide the truth. That's what the media does. They know that if they overfeed people information and they continue to cover it and cover it and cover it, people would eventually just let it go and not even think about it no more because they get tired of it. But the reality is, in my opinion, I feel like the Astroworld situation was definitely a sacrifice. I feel like 100%, in my opinion, it was an orchestrated situation with planned destruction from Travis Scott's part and his team, because I feel like they encouraged all of this to happen. And then all the imagery before the show, before they even made the show happen, while they were just promoting it, you can clearly see that something demonic was going to happen that night. I was seeing this picture that one of you guys sent me on Instagram, It shows an old picture that seems to look like a demon eating souls. What's odd about this photo is that it looks very similar to the Astroworld. You know, the giant head that was the interest to the concert where people were walking through it. You can clearly see what Travis Scott was going for. This has to be a pagan ritual that's been done before. You know, it makes sense. And someone else pointed out to me, because I covered this in the Diddy video, Diddy also had a similar situation where he threw an event and people also got hurt in the same way and people also passed away in the same type of scenario where things got out of control. In the Travis Scott situation, you can clearly see it was premeditated. You can clearly see, in my opinion at least, that this was planned. He wanted something chaotic to happen that night. And he also knew that he was going to lead people to the other side. That's why he used that term. The stage being an upside down cross, you can literally see this. And I also find it insane. There was a child there. A child. How did a child get into Astro? That to me doesn't make any sense. How does a child that age end up at an Astroworld Fest? And it's strange because these people, in my opinion, worship Moloch, and Moloch requires stuff like this. That's the type of thing that Moloch would do. He would want souls, including children's souls. In my opinion, I'm not saying that Travis Scott knew a child was going to be there, but I find it strange that something would happen to a child at a Travis Scott concert that should strictly be at least for older teenagers and adults. You know, I don't understand how a child will get in there. It was very chaotic. What do you think, D? What do you think about the situation? How do you feel when people let go of things so easily? This just happened not even a month ago, and I'm pretty sure people don't even care about it no more. We've had a ton of situations, but what do you think?
I believe that you are correct. I think that it was pushed in their faces so much that they got tired of hearing it and seeing about it. Not only that, Travis Scott has tried to, backstep by saying he was going to pay for funeral expenses as well as refund tickets. He's trying to make things better even though they're not better. And on top of that, it's been, too many people have covered it. It's been memed, it's been seen on videos, news outlets have covered it. It's just been done way too much. So I think people got tired of hearing it, seeing it, and everybody kind of, forgot about it. Not only that, people don't stay entertained by one thing anymore. Everything changes so fast. On TikTok, it goes by, 15-second videos and then switch onto something else. Everything continues to change constantly, so nobody really has, a balance to really take in anything. I think we actually took in the Travis Scott thing longer than normal because, it stayed for about a week. It was a hot topic, but, nobody is going to care about it after that long.
I see what you're saying, but my question is to you is, do you think it's right that we forget a situation this drastic so quickly? In my opinion, this is something that should have been on people's radar for at least, until Travis Scott made things correct. I was expecting him not to be able to have the same career because if we open our eyes, we have to be aware when people are trying to cause harm, you cannot allow them to do that. And I feel like Travis Scott, in my opinion, set up a concert where people were going to get hurt. He, in my opinion, knew the circumstances of what he was promoting, of what he was inciting. And then during the event, he had multiple opportunities to stop it. But many people have reported that it just seemed like he was in a trance himself, continuing the event and thriving off all the chaotic energy that was going off. And that's exactly what I believe. So my question to you is, do you think it's correct that these people get over the situation that quick? Should people be able to get over the situation like this that quick? Am I wrong for even thinking that people should hold them accountable for a bit longer? Because there was a lot of lives and a lot of destruction that happened that day.
No, I don't think that it was right or fair that people, kind of passed by it so fast. People's lives were lost. I don't think it's something to sit there and reminisce on either. The bad did happen and, we did come for Travis Scott. It's not like it just happened and, nobody said nothing. He did get a lot of backlash. He ended up canceling his concert, saying that he was going to pay for things. Does any of that make it right? No. Does any of that justify his actions knowing what he was planning? No. But should we sit there and reminisce on something when people have other things to do and things still have to continue on? I don't think so. I think, we mourn for a while. The families of the lost ones can continue to mourn. We pay our respects to everybody. I don't think it's anything for anybody to sit there and continue to think about.
The thing is, it's not like it was just something that just happened and What I'm trying to say is Travis Scott's going to go hide in a corner. When everybody forgets, Travis Scott's going to come back with a new song. Everybody's going to be listening to that new song, and he's going to be able to continue to do exactly what he just did. Guide more people towards their destruction, and that's exactly what we saw on that night. I'm not saying that people should be consistently thinking about it or reminiscing on it at all, but what I'm saying is we need to hold him accountable, not just for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks until we get tired of hearing about it, but we need to hold him accountable until he makes the situation right, until he comes clean about what really happened that day, something that we know might not happen. But since he doesn't want to hold himself accountable to the truth, then we should hold him accountable, and we shouldn't allow him to continue to have the success he has while he's over here doing things that we saw that night. It's just, in my opinion, like the photos of the flyers, the shirt that he had on, the stage, everything points to something being orchestrated, something being done on purpose, in my opinion. A lot of people saw this. I didn't even have to point this out. People already knew what was going on the moment they saw the imagery. And Travis Scott doesn't even deny it. His apology, in my opinion, wasn't even an apology. A lot of people pointed out that he was covering his eye. I feel like he's accepted what, for a few months he's going to have to hide out, but then he's going to come back and nothing ever happened. Because that's the world we live in. We're just going to forget. And as long as he comes out with a new song and some new sneakers, everybody's happy. The next thing I wanted to talk about was actually regarding a photo one of you guys sent me on Instagram. It was about the World Health Organization. Apparently, the logo for the World Health Organization is a symbol that's on Baphomet. It's the staff and the snakes. If you've ever gone to a hospital or if you've seen an ambulance, they usually have it right there on the ambulance. And this is what I've told many people. People need to understand who owns the World Health Organization and who owns the big pharmaceutical companies and who owns all this. It's all the same people that run our TVs, that feed us the food we eat, that tell us how to behave. There's a reason why the food we eat is not good for us. There's a reason why most of the food we eat gives us diabetes, high blood pressure, makes us obese, overweight, causes heart problems. Is because that's the food they want to feed us so that they can continue to benefit and make money. When we get sick and when we develop serious health conditions, by now I'm 100% positive that the health organization has the resources to be able to fix most of our health problems. But why would they want to fix our health problems if they make more money from providing a temporary solution instead? Why would they fix you and not make no more money off you if they can just give you micro doses of something that's going to keep you alive that they can keep charging you for? That's the world we live in. The World Health Organization is a Freemasonic organization just like all the rest, believe it or not. I'm not saying doctors are bad or medicine is evil. I'm saying that it's used in an evil way. The people that run the industry are only in it for the money. They don't care about if you're okay or if you're healthy or if you're alive. They honestly don't. What they care about is how long they can keep you hooked on to their medication and how much they can fill their pockets up with money. That's the world we live in. There's no coincidence that they have that logo as their logo because those are the men that work hand in hand with Lucifer. And Lucifer has allowed them to set up their kingdom and has allowed them to have endless riches as long as they continue the system that they have created. Most people don't want to go to hell. Most people would rather go to heaven. That's where the Masons come in. Their job is to literally manipulate you into changing your mind and accepting hell as your final resting place. That's why they manipulate us through music. That's why they feed us poison. That's why they force us to take medications that are literally destroying us from the inside. All the things that they do is for a purpose. You notice that when we take certain medications have more side effects than what is actually fixing? You have a headache, but then you're taking a pill that causes several things. What do you think, Dee, about the symbol?
It is really crazy because it looks exactly like the staff that Baphomet is holding, which I never realized because my mother's a nurse, so to me that's always been the symbol for medicine. But I do know that the whole medicine, healthcare field is evil. America, if I'm not mistaken, makes a lot of money off of that. That's why, we pay for insurance in other states. Other countries provide free health care, but also in other countries, they don't allow all the chemicals and pesticides and stuff in their food, so they're not expecting their people to get sick. In America, they thrive off of their people getting sick. That's why we have so many fast food restaurants. There's so many chemicals and colorings and pesticides that are in our food, and that's to make us sick, so we end up going to the hospital, giving them money, and then they push medicine on them. Like you said, they push medicine on us that gives us more side effects. That way, our lives can deteriorate faster. They can make all the money off of us that they can, and we just end up sick.
To me, I believe that the the World Health Organization and, the pharmaceutical companies and the hospital system, all that is all connected towards a new world order. It's all connected with bringing it in. I know I often say this, but you have to understand, the plan for a new world order, it can't be a small one. It's going to consist of a lot of steps and a long, long time of preparation. Certain things need to be done to be able to bring in a new world order. And controlling all aspects of what people consume, whether it be food, whether it be medicine, whether it be entertainment, is part of their plan. So when I say these things, I just want you to take under consideration. Just look at the symbols. The Masons love putting their symbols on everything. That's why they put in their symbols on that, because they want you to know that they own it. They want you to know that this is theirs, because the average person will never understand. But the ones that are part of them, the ones that are members, they know what's going on. They see that, and that's another indication of them being the ruling class. Now, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about was Virgil Abloh. I wanted to let people know why I covered and did a Truth Talk video on him. The only reason I covered it was because I felt like what happened to Virgil just didn't make much sense. There was clear pictures of Virgil from fashion shows that didn't happen too long ago, his Instagram page, and nothing indicated that he was a man on his last days. To me, nothing indicated that he looked like a man that was gonna pass in just 2-3 days. And then on top of this, they have this ceremony thing going already where Louis Vuitton, they even have a Rolls-Royce car built of them. There was a statue. Usually statues take long to make, if I'm not mistaken. You could just clearly see, like I explained in that video, it's the month we're in. There's been a bunch of incidents where people have passed, and I explained that this is exactly what they want. This is exactly what happens every year. We can wait for next year and we can see it happen all over again around the same time. This is how they run this country. It's been pagan since the beginning. All these incidents happened right after each other. All these incidents barely have explanations. We were literally just told whatever they want to tell us, and most people just go along with it. And they call us crazy when we tell them that they're crazy for just going along with it. This is the system that the Freemasons have built. They discredit every single person by just claiming that they're the only people that can tell the truth. And that's where the problem is. Did you know anything about Virgil?
No, I didn't know very much about him, except for, he was a designer for Off-White, and was collaborating with Louis Vuitton. But other than that, no.
You've seen recent pictures of him, right? Did it look like he was a person that was suffering from cancer and it was on his, last days? Does he seem like that to you?
No, he didn't look like a sick person, but who am I to say whether he was battling with cancer or not? I do personally know 2 people in my life that have had cancer, both who are still here, and neither one of them looks sick. The first one, she ended up going through chemo and losing her hair. The second person I know, completely fine, not even weight loss. Who am I to say whether or not he had cancer or not?
You're stating 2 people that survived their cancer and that weren't on their last days. They weren't just about to pass on. That's what I'm trying to say. Virgil passed away. So his last photo should have indicated of a person who was battling cancer and appeared severely sick because he was in his last days. When you're at your last days of cancer, the cancer is beating you. So your body isn't going to look the same. Now, what you're referring to is probably family members of yours that had cancer, were able to detect it soon enough, or were able to beat it and did not get too bad, which, they probably weren't showing yet, but inside they were definitely feeling it. But for a person that literally passed, they usually show signs. I'm not saying that all situations are the same, but they usually are. And then we also have to take under consideration, Virgil's a multi-millionaire, if not even richer than that. How is it that a man that rich can't beat cancer when you just said 2 people in your family who don't have that amount of resources to them available were able to beat that? And I'm not saying that all people are the same, but I'm saying that it just doesn't make sense. And who has secret battles with cancer? That's another thing that I found very suspicious. How do you have a secret battle with cancer? Like, how do you do that? That's a person that works for a big company like Louis Vuitton, who has investors that invest millions and millions and millions, if not billions of dollars. This should be public information if someone so vital to the company would have cancer and could pass at any moment. So that's another thing that to me doesn't make any of it just doesn't make sense. Virgil was in a space where they usually don't allow designers like Virgil to be in. So it shows his connection. He definitely did something to get there. I'm not saying that he didn't work hard, because he obviously did. He wouldn't have a business. And I also want people to understand this. I'm not saying any artist or celebrity who you see at the top didn't work hard. That is part of it. You have to work hard, of course. but you also have to sell out in many forms to get what you want when you want to get up there. There's a lot of selling out to do. Of course, everybody has to work hard, but you also have to sell out in certain times to get what you want in the industry. I feel like Virgil might have gotten himself in something too deep, and this might have been the result, and it happened during this time because this is the time where they do things. Now, back to what I was saying regarding the cancer. If Virgil passed on, that means he was on his last days. So in my opinion, something should have been visible. Like, at least he should have at least looked fatigued or at least looked tired in the photos, or you could have, these are things that you could see on people's faces. But again, this is just my opinion. What do you guys think? The last thing I want to talk about was Kim Kardashian and how, in my opinion, they used her to try to distract people off the Astroworld situation. Because right around, if I'm not mistaken, if my timeline is wrong, you guys can correct me. But right around the time that the whole Astroworld situation happened, we saw Kim Kardashian going around with Pete, and people started talking about that, and it was almost a distraction as well. And I don't find it coincidental that this would happen. It's like they wanted to bring some good publicity to the family after what happened with the whole Travis Scott situation, because all of us saw Kylie there. We all saw how she also didn't stop anything or didn't really take much accountability off of the situation. Travis Scott and Kylie, you can clearly see that they're working towards the same goal. I've showed before, I've done a video on Kylie. If you guys actually want me to do a new full video on Kim Kardashian and on Kylie Jenner, you guys can comment below and let me know. I'll work on that. In my opinion, Kim and Kanye and Travis Scott, they're all connected because Kanye was who initially signed Travis Scott, and it all goes back to him. So I feel like you could clearly see that they were working towards the same goal. And I feel that that's why Kim Kardashian did what she did. What do you think, Dee? Do you feel like the Kardashians are used for the agenda?
Most definitely, especially this Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson relationship. It just looks like a big stunt. Not only that, a few days ago, after the family of the child who passed at Astroworld denied, allowing Travis Scott to pay for any of the funeral expenses, they allowed both Northwest and Penelope Diskin, or Disca, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to make TikTok accounts. So that, everybody finding out that two of the youngest Kardashian members had TikTok accounts took over from the fact that the 9-year-old's family didn't want to have Travis Scott pay for the funeral expenses. Also, something out there to blur the lines so nobody's paying attention too much about the Travis situation, because they don't want to bring that back up because now Travis is connected to their family.
Travis definitely has a part in all of this. I'm pretty sure that he's doing his best to try to, clean up the situation. He knew this was going to happen. I feel like he didn't expect so many people to realize, because, he's been doing this for so long. He's already been throwing it in people's faces, and normally people don't care. People just call it music, call it art. This time it was too obvious, I just don't think that he was going to expect people to react in this way. I felt like he was just going to, they were going to consider it a casualty and blame it on the event most likely. He probably considered, hey, they'll probably blame the venue. They'll probably blame security. They aren't going to blame me. I'm just the artist. It's hard to not blame him when he was inciting it. It's hard to not blame him when he was there and you could see him addressing the crowd and continuing the show when ambulances are present. In my opinion, the Kim Kardashian and the whole Pete Davidson situation was just another distraction from the truth. We saw what really happened that night on Astroworld. We saw with our own eyes that it was truly something sinister, and there's not that much looking too deep into it to realize it. All you have to do is literally look at all the signs that Travis Scott had put out. He tells us himself that this is what he wanted. Do you agree, Dee? Like, you could see that it was what it was, right?
Obviously, he didn't. They think that everybody's still blind sometimes. They don't think that we have as many people who are willing to open up and know the truth that we have these days. So they think that when those events happen, that people are going to think, oh, it was just an accident, not think too much of it. But in reality, we have so many people now who know the truth that those things just don't go by blindly. I believe that these are things that he has to do to stay successful and relevant. He knew that these things were going to happen. I don't think that he thought that we were going to catch on.
Whether if it was a satanic ritual sacrifice or he just knew that people were going to act chaotic, he hyped up the crowd, made things the way they were, and sacrificed his fans' safety in order for him to promote and have a great show. That's what he did. In my opinion, either way, either if it was a satanic ritual or just negligence and a way for him to promote his event, he still, in my opinion, sacrificed those people that ended up passing on that night. In my opinion, if he would have promoted a safer environment, or stop the show when things were going bad, none of this would have happened. Academics posted on his Instagram that he didn't have the power to stop the show. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Artists stop their shows all the time. He has the right to tell them it's an emergency, I gotta stop the show. The show's over. That literally doesn't make any sense to me. That has to be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But you know that the media, including academics, who I believe I should do a video on because he has orchestrated so many fake issues and he has created so much drama to continue his success, and I've actually already connected academics to being part of the Masonic Order. So if you guys would like to see a full video on DJ Academics, please comment DJ Academics below. If 800 people comment DJ Academics, the next video will be about him. But honestly, in my opinion, they're going to use every single media outlet that they can to make sure we forget about this situation like we already did. It's already gone. It's a thing of the past. Well, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section. And that's it for this podcast episode. Please don't forget to comment what you guys want to see on next week's podcast. I haven't been seeing many comments regarding what you guys want to see on next week's podcast. So please make sure that you guys do that. And I'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye, you guys. You guys stay safe.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.